Hi all, Varun here. So in this video, we'll see about how we can achieve drag and drop functionality in Lightning component. So I have a component here, which has like three sections. One is new, working and closed. In the new section, I'm displaying all the cases which are in new status. And in the working section, I'm displaying all the cases which are in working status. And here I'm displaying all the cases which have been closed. Additionally, I've added one functionality here where I can easily drag and drop the cases into the respective status. So I just want to drag this case into working status, so I can just drag it and drop it in the working section here. And you can see here this case is added under the working status now. And similarly, I can easily close the case here as well. So for example, I just want to move this working case into closed one, so I can just drag it here and just drop it in the closed section. So in this way we can build one drag and drop functionality here. So let's build it from scratch. So we're going to create a lightning component for it. To create a lightning component, so this is my developer console. Here I'm going to create a new lightning component. To create a new lightning component, click on File, New, Lightning Component. I'll just name this as Show Case Status. And click on Submit. And similarly, I'm going to create a new lightning application here. So I'll just open the respective files here. Just open controller and helper. Yeah. And also I'm going to create a new lightning application. I'll just name this as Showcase Status App and just click on Submit. And here I'm going to embed my lightning component into this application. And I'm going to do one thing here. I'll just add this statement. Extends force colon SLDS. Yes. Now my app is ready here, and I can just click on preview here. As of now, my application is empty as I did not add anything here. So let's add something here. So I'll just go back to my component here. So initially I'll just add a lightning card, and inside this lightning card I'm going to create a lightning layout. Inside this lightning layout I'm going to add a lightning layout item. I'm going to give the size as 4. I'm going to add some padding as well. Padding is, I'm going to give it as around small. And inside this lightning layout item, I'm going to display all the cases which are in new status. So that's the reason I'll just add it as new. And similarly, I'm going to create another 2 layout items. One is for working and other is for closed. This is for working and another is for closed. Yes. Now if I go back to my application and just do a refresh here. And you can see here, this is my new section, working section and closed section. And I'll do one thing here. I'll just align this text at the center, and I'll just increase the font size of it. So I'll just go back to my developer console. Before this, I'm going to do one thing here. So I'm going to add one div here of class SLDS box. And inside this div, I'm going to add an h1 tag. And also I'll just add a bold tag. And for h1 I'm going to give some style here. Like font size I'm going to give it as maybe 30 pixel. And text align I'm going to make it as center. Yes. Now just go back to your application and just refresh the page and just check for the changes here. And you can see here my text is aligned at the center and my font size also increased. I'm gonna just do one thing here. I'll just copy paste the same stuff in both the layout items. So but instead of new, it's gonna be working. And here I'm gonna change it to closed. And if you go back to my application again and just refresh the page, you can see here three sections. One is new, working, and closed. Now it's all good. Now I'm gonna do one thing here. I'll just do one thing. I'll just create a controller for it. So I have to get all the cases from the backend. So I'm gonna create a new Apex class for it. I'll just name this as showcase status controller. Yes, and here I'm gonna create a method. I'll just name this method as get cases. As of now, I'll just make the return type as void. So here I'm gonna get all the cases here. I'll do one thing. Case list is equal to select ID comma case number comma I'm gonna get the subject comma status. From case and I'm gonna do a null check here. If case list not equal to null and case list dot size greater than 0, and now I'm gonna create a wrapper class here. So inside this wrapper class, I'm gonna add some properties. I'll just annotate with our enable. And here, the first thing is I'm gonna create a list of cases. I'm gonna store all the working cases in this list. I'll just name this as working cases. And similarly, I'm gonna add closed cases and also new cases, and additionally I'm gonna add another variable which is of data type of integer to store the case count, number of cases exist. So here if the case list is not equal to null and the case list dot size greater than 0, I'm gonna use a for loop here. I'm gonna iterate this case list here, and inside this I'm gonna add an if loop here. If c dot status is equal to new, then I'm gonna add this case to a list. So for that I'm gonna do one thing here. I'll just create a list of case instance here named as new cases. Similarly, I'm gonna create two more instances. One is for working cases and another is for closed cases. And in the for loop, if the status is equal to new, I'm gonna add this case to the new cases list. So I'll do one thing, new cases dot add c, and here I'm gonna do add another else if condition here. And if c dot status is equal to working, then I'm gonna add this case to working cases dot add c, and another else if condition here. If c dot status is equal to closed, then I'm gonna add this to closed cases list. Yes. Now we have to create an instance of case wrapper here. Here I'm going to create a instance of case wrapper. I'll just name this as CW, and here CW dot working cases is equal to the working cases from the cases which we added into the list. And similarly, cw dot closed cases is equal to closed cases which we added in the for loop, and cw dot new cases is equal to new cases list which we added. And similarly, we have another variable called as case count here. So basically, it's like a number of cases here. I'm gonna do one thing here. I'll just use this case list dot size. Here I'm gonna return cw here. I mean the case wrapper. So the return type should be case wrapper here. Yes, that's it. Now we have to add another return type here. So if there are for example, if this query returns null here, I'm just returning null value here. That means there are no cases found in system. So that's the reason this will execute and it will return null for me. Now my controller is ready here. So my controller is ready. So I'm gonna add this controller in my Lightning component. I'll just go back to my controller, add this as a controller. Yes, and similarly I'm gonna add an init handler. So we're gonna get all the cases on page load. So that's the reason I'm using an init handler here. Aura handler name is equal to init and value is equal to this. And action, I'm gonna call this function called as doInit c.doInit. So I'm gonna add this doInit function in my controller here. So this is my doInit function. So here I'm gonna call my Apex class and get all the cases here. So and also additionally I'm gonna create an attribute. We're gonna return case wrapper from the Apex class, right? So we have to store that case wrapper in any of our attribute in Lightning component. That's the reason I'm just creating a new attribute named as same as case wrapper. And here the type should be actual controller name dot the wrapper class name. Yes, that's it. The type should be this. Yes. Now in my init handler, I need to call my Apex class here. To call the Apex class, we're gonna use this function here. I mean, we're gonna use this. We can call server side controller using this code here. I'll just copy paste this. Just copy this and paste it in the init controller. Just remove this comments here. And here we are not passing any parameters. That's the reason I'll just comment out this statement here. And here I need to replace it CMP with component. And here I have to give my Apex class name. Here I have to give my method name. Sorry. If you go back to my Apex class here, so this is my method name called as getCases. Just replace this server echo with getCases. That's it. So now just refresh the application here and just see if you are getting the list of cases or not. So I'm gonna do one thing here, json.stringify response.getReturn value. And if you go back to application and just refresh this page, and here you can see I'm getting a response. The case count is 5. That means there are like 5 cases in backend, and these are the case list. So we are getting perfectly. Now I'm gonna show these cases. I'm gonna show these cases in my UI. To show these cases, I'm gonna make use of this attribute called as case wrapper, and in the init handler, I'm gonna set the return value to this variable. I'm gonna use component.set v.case wrapper is to response.getReturn value. Yes, and here I'm gonna iterate these cases here. So in the after the h1 tag, I'm gonna add a break statement here, and here I'm going to use Aura iteration and items which need to be a collection. So basically we are displaying all the new cases in this section, right? So that's the reason I'm going to use this case wrapper dot. All the new cases are stored in this variable called as case wrapper dot new cases. Just copy it, and variable I'm going to give it as new case. Yes. So inside this Aura iteration, I'm going to print the case number. It should be a new case dot case number, and I'll just add a break statement here. And also I'm going to print the subject. It's going to be subject, and I'll just go back to my application and just refresh this page. And you can see here I'm just getting case number and also the subject. And similarly I'm going to add the same iteration in the working cases and also the closed cases section. Before that I'm going to add a break statement here after the h1 tag, and here I need to replace this with working cases, case wrapper dot working cases. I'll just name this as working case. Similarly it's going to be case wrapper dot closed cases, closed case, closed case dot case number, closed case dot subject. And if I go back to my application and just refresh this page, yeah, you can see here there are like only 2 cases which are in closed status and 2 cases are in working status, and 1 cases are in new status. That means we have like 5 cases here. As of now this UI is not looking good. We're gonna improvise some UI thing here. So after the iteration I'm gonna add a div tag. I'll say class is SLDS box. Yeah, and apply the similar thing to remaining sections as well. After the iteration I'm gonna add a button. Yeah. Now if I go back to my application and just refresh this page again, yeah, it's now it's looking better now. Similarly I'm gonna add an icon here. Before the case number I'm gonna add an icon here. To do that, go back to your developer console, lightning icon. We can get any icons from the system here. If you go back to the official component documentation, here you can see you can add a lightning icon tag here. I'll just copy this and paste it in the developer console. And you can also find different types of icons here. I'll just search for one of the icon. So I'm gonna use this icon called as case change status. I'll just go back to my developer console. It's a standard icon, so that's the reason I'll just make this as standard and just change this, and alternate text will be case status or something like that, and title also I'll just declare the same as case status. And I'll just copy the same lightning icon in both the section. Yes. Now if I go back to my Aura application and just refresh the page, yes, now it's looking fine. And also if you observe here, we can make this case number and subject bold. So we'll do one thing here. I'll just add this case number into this bold tag here. I'll just add it the same thing in the other two sections as well. Yeah, and if I go back to my application and refresh the page again, yeah, it's now looking good. We can add a space of after this. I mean the case number and the icon, we can add one space here. As of now I'll just add a space here. Yeah. So basically now we don't have any drag and drop functionality here. We can't drag a case from new to working status now. So we can do one thing here. So in this document we have like events fired on the draggable target. So for example, if you want to drag an element and drop an element, so you can use this event called as, we have like a bunch of events called as on drag start occurs when the user starts to drag an element. On drag occurs when an element is being dragged. On drag end occurs when the user has finished dragging the element. And also events fired on the drop target. So whenever you are dropping any div or something like that, so you can fire this events on drop enter occurs when the dragged element enters the drop target. On drag over occurs when the dragged element is over the drop target. And on drag leave occurs when the dragged element leaves the drop target. On drop occurs when the dragged element is dropped on the drop target. So basically these are the bunch of events which can be fired here. So the first thing is, if I go back to my developer console, so now if you go to my application, I have to make this div as a draggable element, and in the new working and cancel we can fire the drop event. So we can drop the draggable element into this section or working section or close section. So for that, so we have like two divs here. One is SLDS box, I mean the main div, and the other is also the SLDS box. That means it's an sub box inside this. So first we have to make this thing as draggable. So I'm gonna use this here. Draggable is equal to true. It's gonna be draggable is equal to true. I'll just add this for other sections as well. Yes. Now we have declared draggable is equal to true now, and here you can see on drag start. On drag start we have to we can fire this event. So I'm gonna do one thing here. I'll just use this on drag start. And I'm gonna add it to this div on drag start. I'm gonna call this function called as drag start. So here I'm gonna add this function in my controller here. Yeah, similarly I'm gonna add this drag start event in both the section divs. One is in this section and other is this in this section. And here I'm gonna do one thing in the controller here. So I'm gonna, if the alert started, I'm just console it and just check if my function is working or not. I'll just do a console.log and write a text here called as drag. Yes. Now if I go back to my application and just open the console and just refresh the page, I'll just drag anything here, and you can see this function is called as drag. On drag start over we are calling this function called as drag start, and this has been called here. So now next thing is, so if you observe here, we are dragging something here, but we have to get which case has been dragged here. So we have to get the case ID for this. So if, for example, if I dragged this case called as 1002, and if I drag it, I need to capture the case ID for it. So for that, I'm going to do one thing here. So I'll just go back to my developer console, and in the component, and for the div element, I'm going to give an ID here, and in this ID I'm going to store the case ID, and the case ID is coming from new case.id. Yes, and similarly I'll just add this ID element in both the section, but here the slight change, it should be working case ID, and the same thing should happen in the closure section as well, but here the ID should be coming from the closed cases, the closed case.id. Yes, now we have to get this ID here. To get this ID, I'm going to do one thing here. Instead of this console.log, I'm going to do one thing here, event.target.id. So this statement will give me the ID which has been dragged. And if I go back to my application and just refresh this page and open the console, I'll just clear the console here, and I'm going to drag this case, and if I drag this case, you can see the record ID of the dragged case. And if I drag another case here, and you can see the record ID has been changed here. So now we are capturing the record ID. Now the next step is we have to do another thing here. So if you see here, we can make use of on drag start, we can use this thing called as data transfer.setData. So basically this method sets the data type and the value of the dragged data. So if you observe here, we can set the data type and the value of the dragged data, and just get the data which has been dragged once we drop the div. So we're going to use this function here. I'll just go back to my controller here. So here I'm going to do one thing, event.data transfer set data text, and we have to set the record ID of the case target.id, and we have to get this ID on drop function. We have to get this ID which has been dragged. It should be target. Okay, so now the other thing is we have make the div as a draggable, and now we have to focus on the drop function. So if I want to drop this case to working status, I need to fire some event on drop as well. So if you observe here, and we have like two things here. One is on drag over. We're going to make use of this. On drag over, it occurs when the dragged element is over the drop target. And also we're going to use this on drop. Whenever we dropped a div, whenever particular case we have dropped in this section or in this section, this event will fire, called as on drop. So we have to add both events. We have to add both these events in our component here. So I'll just go back to my component here. So this event should be added in the outer box, I mean the section box. So it should be added to the outside div. So this is my outer div here. I'm gonna add the first thing is I'll just add on drag over, which will occur when the dragged element is over the drop target. On drag over, I'm gonna call this function called as allow drop, and also I'm gonna fire this event called as on drop. on drop, I'm gonna call this function called as on new drop. I mean, whenever an div is dropped in this new section, I'm just calling this function called as on new drop. I'm just add this similar events in the remaining sections as well. One is in working section, and here I'm for drop I'm gonna use different function here. Whenever a case is dropped in this working status working div, I'm gonna call this function called as on working drop, and just copy this and paste it in the case section as well. I mean the closed section, and here on drop of this closed section I'm gonna call this on closing drop. And now we have to add this function in our JavaScript controller. So I'll just add this function here. We have to add, so first thing is we have to add this on new drop, and other thing is on working drop, and other thing is on closing drop. Now the next step is, so if you observe here, the on drag over event occurs when a draggable element or text selection is being dragged over a valid drop target. And also, to allow a drop, we must prevent the default handling of the element. To allow a drop, we must prevent the default handling of the element, and this is done by calling the event.prevent default. So we're gonna add this statement in our function allow drop, and you can see here, to allow a drop we must prevent the default handling of the element. So that's the reason we are adding this statement called as event.prevent default on this function called as allow drop. Now this is done. So the next step is we have to get data of the dragged element. So for example, I'm gonna add a console.log statement in this on new drop, and here I'm gonna use event.data transfer. So we are setting the data of the dragged element, I mean which is being dragged. Now we have to get the data of it. So which element has been dragged, so we have to get the data. So that's the reason here I'm gonna use it as get data. So we have to get the record ID of the case on drop of it. I'm gonna similarly add console.log in all the functions. And now I'll just comment out this drag start console.log statement. And if I go back to my application and refresh this page and open the console, I'll just clear the console. Now you can see here. So I'm gonna drag this case to working section, and whenever I drop this case to working section, so this function will fire called as on working drop. 1 minute, it's gonna be not. I'll just there is one spelling mistake here. I'll just make this as working. Now if you see here, I'll just refresh this page once again, as we've done some changes in the component, and I'm gonna clear console. And now we can see here I'm gonna drag this case and drop it in the working status. So whenever I drop this in working status, this function should be fired called as on working drop. So that means I'll just drag this and drop this in working status, and once we dropped here, this function will be called, and here we are printing the console.log and getting the case ID which has been dragged. So you can see in the console, this is the case ID which we dragged here. Now I'm gonna do one thing here. I'm gonna drag this working case and drop this in the closure section. So then what exactly happened is this function will be fired called as on closing drop and just print the case ID which has been dragged. So if you see here, I'll just just clear the console and just drag this to closure section and just drop it, and you can see here we are getting the record ID and this function is called. Okay, so now it's working fine now. We'll do one thing here. So here we gonna update the case status. We are getting the record ID and we have to update the case status. To update the case status, I'm gonna call this I'm going to make use of this helper function. I'll just create another helper function. I'll just name this as update dragged case, something like that. And here I should get the case ID which need to be updated and also the status of the case which need to be updated. And here I'm gonna, in this function I'm gonna call my Apex class here. As I said, like, you can get the code from the official documentation and just paste it here and just remove the unnecessary things here. Yeah, so now we'll go back to my Apex class, and here I'm gonna return one I'm gonna create one method called as update case, which accept two parameters. One is case ID and other is the string, data type of string called as status. And here we have to update our case. So we can do one thing here. I'll just create a case instance. C.id is equal to the case ID coming from the input parameters, and C.status is equal to status coming from the Lightning controller. And here I'm going to do an update, and here I'm going to return the case wrapper itself. I'm going to make use of this method. I'll just call this method which will return me the fresh copy of the cases. I mean it will return me all the latest cases here. That's the reason I'll just simply call this method get cases. Which the return type of this get cases is case wrapper. Similarly, this the return type will be the same here as well. Yeah, now we have to call this method from our Lightning component. So just copy this and go back to your helper class and just paste the method name here, and here instead of CMP just replace this with component. Now we have to pass the parameters here. So the first parameter is case ID. So I'm gonna map the case ID here, and next parameter name is status. I'm gonna map the status as well, and you can see the return type of this is also case wrapper here. So that's the reason I'll just set the case wrapper into this attribute called as case wrapper. Yeah, that's it. So now we have to call this helper function from my controller when whenever a case is dropped in a particular section. So I'm gonna call this function helper dot call this function, and we have to pass case ID and the status to this helper function. So first thing, I'm gonna pass the case ID here. I'm gonna make use of this directly, which will give me the case ID. And other thing is, I'm gonna pass the case status. The case status should be new. And similarly, I'll just add this line in both the working drop and also the closing drop. But here the status is different here. Here it should be working, and here it should be closed. Yeah, I think now we are all ready. I'll just go back to my application and just refresh this page. And now I just want to move this case to close status. I'll just drag this and drop it in the closed section, and you can see here now it's been affected here. So the case status is updated and moved to closed status, and I just want to revert it back again. I'll just make this case to a new one. I'll just drag it and drop it in the new section, and you can see here this has been added to the new section. The case status has been updated in the backend, and we got the fresh copy in the case wrapper. So it's now all looking good now. So basically we're gonna add another thing here. We're gonna add a lightning spinner. So I'll just go back to my developer console and just make use of that lightning spinner. This is the code for the spinner here, and similarly I'm going to create an attribute for spinner as well. Name is equal to spinner, and the spinner type is boolean, and the default value I'll just make it as true. Default is true. If you go back to my application and just refresh this page, as my spinner default value is true, it's been showing all the time here. So now we have to make this false. So when should we make this false? Once we get the data from the backend Apex, we can make this as false. So we are getting the data here, right? So we can just make this false here. b.spinner false. Yeah, that's it. And also once we drag it, whenever we are ready to update, we have to make this as true. So here I'm gonna make this as true, and once we got the response from the Apex, just we have to make it false. That's it. Yeah, now if I go back to my application and just refresh this page, the spinner will stop whenever we will get the records from the Apex. And now I just want to drag this case to working status. You can see it has been dragged. Now I just want to drag it to close status. You can see now it's moved. I can also directly drag this case to new, and also drag this case to working. Yeah, in this way we can build a nice drag and drop functionality in Lightning Component. Thanks for watching.